lovely Tuesday evening, September 4th. Hope everybody had a great Labor Day weekend. Lots to talk about. We got Raw, SmackDown Live, obviously in the title. I announced that we have new tag team champions. So yes, that went down last night, and it's not the Revival, as it was scheduled to be the Revival taking on the B team, but we'll get into that when we touch on the review of Raw tonight. But thank you again. How are you doing tonight, Dave?
I'm doing all right.
All right, so we have quite a bit to touch on since Raw had quite a bit of news coming out of the show. We had the whole shenanigans with Roman Reigns and the Shield, and then we had, new tag team champions announced. The Bella Twins finally returning after a 3-year hiatus. We also had a new tag team being tested out with Chad Gable and Bobby Roode. Hey, what's up, Mantis? How you doing tonight, dude? Appreciate the support as always. We also had an interesting segment between Alexa Bliss and Elias. What else did we have last night? Oh, a new manager aligning himself with the Authors of Pain, an interesting one at that. We'll touch on that as well. And Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker have an interesting face-off, but leaving a lot of people questioning, is there going to be one more match between Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker? Yes, and also Kevin Owens makes an early return after just quitting last week. And you would thought maybe we wouldn't have seen him on TV for quite some time. Nope, we get him returning last night. So let's jump right into Raw last night, where we had the Shield. No, actually, we had Braun, Drew McIntyre, and Dolph Ziggler opened the show last night. Braun kind of had a nice little promo saying that really Roman Reigns had to do was take his beating, but he runs in a pack, and his brothers had to come out and save him, put a shield around him. Braun says Reigns knows that without the shield, the WWE Universal title belongs to Braun. Braun also said he had to go about things a little differently, and he doesn't give a damn if the people like it or not. So using the "you people" line, kind of using the line from Becky Lynch last week, blaming the fans. I'm not really blaming the fans, but pretty much saying I don't give a fuck what the fans think. If you like it or not, I'm going to do what I want to do. If I want to align myself with McIntyre and Ziggler, I'm going to do it. I don't care what you guys think. And I said at Hell in a Cell, he's going to dismantle Reigns, break his spirit, break his back, and take what's rightfully his, the Universal Championship. This is when things got a little bit funny. Ziggler says that they will be the most dominant force in WWE history. Stated that the Shield started this, but they are going to end it. And also said they're going to be more dominant than the Nation of Domination, DX, and the Shield. And that's when we had Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins interrupt. And that's when we had the big rumble to start Raw. We're all 6 men. We're going at it. Ended up the whole locker room coming down to break up the mess, and ended up getting the Shield being arrested. Yes, arrested, folks. They were arrested and taken away from Raw. So Raw was about Shieldless for pretty much the whole episode, but they were still the main focus. What was your thoughts on the opening of Raw last night, Dave?
I thought it was pretty good, and like what you said about Strowman saying "you people" line, to me that was just for the whole everyone saying, well, he's not a heel just because he doesn't want to did it his way. He's not a heel, really. I think that was just to say, okay, he's a heel now.
Yeah.
I think that's what that was for. He's a heel. So people can say he's not a heel all they want, but he's aligned with 2 heels. He's even saying, I don't give a crap what the fans think. So, sorry. Everyone's saying he's not a heel. It's not heel tactic. It's not a heel, but he is.
Yeah, he's pretty much legit heel now. I don't think there's no question about that. Yeah. Aligning himself with Ziggler and McIntyre, and that, in all honesty, that's a pretty intimidating group of men right there, as a group or a team, however you want to put it. If they actually kept this team, it is an odd group. We had Ziggler and McIntyre for a while now, and even then at the beginning we kind of thought, but they kind of rubbed up off you, and you're like, I kind of feel these 2 guys together. now we got what happened last night on Raw, but also these three guys look like a legit group. Like they could take you out. And Ziggler, and you even mentioned it on Twitter, Dave. You're not a much of a Ziggler guy, that he's been doing some great work out there.
Yeah, I mean, he has. I mean, I still not really feeling this group. It's still just too weird for me.
Okay.
It would have made much more sense if it would have been Bray. Yes, Harper's on SmackDown, but they could have done something. Figured a way to get Harper on Raw, and they could have reformed the Wyatt family. Would have made much more sense to me. And that would have looked more like a dominant team than what you got. To me, it's just an odd pairing. You have the big Braun guy and Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. I mean, to me, it's an odd group. But, hey, they're going to do what they want to. To me, this seems like it was just thrown together last minute, and it's just, okay, you guys are a team now.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a way to get Braun Strowman booed. They want to get him booed, and it kind of makes sense, especially what we're going to get. I think we all know what's going to happen at Hell in a Cell and what matches are going to end up happening. It makes sense if you have Braun Strowman team up with the guys that are currently feuding with the Shield. You know, it kind of makes sense in a way, because even after Hell in a Cell, do you think this feud is ending? I don't think these 6 men are done yet. I think we're going to continue this feud for a little while.
I think Showdown, you know, we're going to see these 6 go at it again.
Yeah, Super Showdown, they're going at it again. So it's not like this is going away anytime soon. And we'll see what happens next week.
And Tony,
especially after what happened at the end of Raw. Yeah, continue. Yeah, go ahead.
One thing I don't like about this, I know, spoiler, because we're jumping ahead a little bit, but now the tag title is going to be, tied up with if they're going to face the Shield, what are they going to do, just have the IC title just do nothing?
It's not a political show, man. It's not a political show. All political stuff, go to the side, man. We don't need that shit on here. I'll get more in depth on that. We'll get on more in that, but I kind of agree with you. So next we did get the return of the Bella Twins. They have been off TV for quite some time since Nikki Bella's last match, which was with John Cena, taking on The Miz and Maurice. So they get the return, taking on the Riot Squad with Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan, taking on Nikki Bella and Brie Bella. And boy, you can see that the ring rust was fucking there. Like, Brie Bella almost died last night. And I saw someone on Twitter kind of compare Sasha Banks, the dives that she kind of botched. Remember when we were kind of critical of her, saying, you know, she needs to stop doing them, comparing them to Brie. And so one thing, we know Sasha Banks can do that on a regular basis. And sometimes she messed up, and the most one that kind of stands out is the one with Asuka. We all remember that. She kind of fell short from a leg kick. Oh well, but last night she kind of fell short twice. One probably was Sarah Logan's fault, but the second one was definitely hers, where she fell short. It looked like she got the air knocked out of her. But they ended up taking the win over the Riot Squad, a team that Sasha and Bayley struggled with for about a month and a half. What were your thoughts on this match right here?
I agree with what you said, though. I mean, I defended the first one, like, okay, it looked like Sarah Logan was out of position, and maybe that's why I had. But the second one, you just can't defend it. You can't. I mean, she was short, and she did not look good at all on that one. I mean, she fell way short of what she's doing. And one thing I'll say is, why was she out there working most of the match? Why wasn't Nikki working more of the match? You know, Nikki was hardly even in the match at all, except the very beginning and the end.
Well, maybe this is their way of trying to get Brie back into in-ring flow, because also, if you don't, you know, Brie is supposed to be wrestling in 2 weeks. So this is more of her probably getting that ring rust off, and no better too than Sarah Logan, Liv Morgan, who, especially I've been, you know, praising Liv Morgan's work lately. You know, they've been doing really good in the ring, and last night it was not that great of a match. And I don't know if you want to put the blame. You have to kind of put the blame on the Bella Twins a little bit. Sarah Logan, the first spot with Brie, yeah, there was some miscommunication there, definitely. After that, I mean,
you know, if you take out the dives in the match, I mean, there wasn't it wasn't that cringeworthy to watch if you take out the dives. You know, if you take out those 2 dives, the match wasn't that cringeworthy. I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying, and not to jump ahead, but after the ending to the night show, I wouldn't be surprised if next week on SmackDown we get a mixed tag match of Brie and Daniel Bryan versus Sienna and
What's up,
Selena.
Alex? How are we doing tonight? Yeah, and we'll touch on the mixed match challenge, which you all guys know that they announced tonight that it's returning. It's returning, I believe, in 2 weeks or 3 weeks on the 18th of September. So they have announced the teams. We'll get on that when we touch on SmackDown Live. Some interesting matchups, kind of some we kind of figured out were going to happen eventually, but kind of disappointed on some of the routes that they went because I thought they missed the boat on a couple of them. But let's continue on with Raw. We had a backstage segment with Baron Corbin talking on the phone with Stephanie McMahon, kind of mentioning about how the Shield has been arrested and stuff like that. We get Finn Balor back there challenging into him a match. Basically, Corbin said the only way that he will be in the match tonight is if he was the main event. So he basically put himself in the main event, a big heel move right there, because nobody really wants to see Baron Corbin in the main event unless you're a huge Baron Corbin fan. And so the current main event at that spot was going to be Baron Corbin taking on Finn Balor. Next, we did have a backstage segment with Charlie Caruso interviewing Chad Gable and Bobby Roode. She asked what led to this new partnership. Gable says he keeps a close eye on everything that goes on around here, and lately he's been captivated by how Roode carries himself in the spotlight. Gabe wanted in on that, and here we are. So it's pretty sad that we haven't mentioned Chad Gable's name on our Raw post show in quite some time. I can't even remember the last time we were even mentioned. Maybe it was around WrestleMania time. The last time Chad Gable was relevant at all. But now he's teamed up with Bobby Roode. They had a match last night with the Ascension. A lot of people are thinking that this possibly may lead up to Bobby Roode turning heel. But I'm not going to say I hate it. I'm going to give it a shot. We do know how good Bobby Roode is as a tag team partner, or as a tag team champion in the past. They kind of mentioned that a little bit on the show.
Oh, really?
I know a little bit. I'm not saying that they mentioned it a lot. They mentioned that he's won tag team titles in the past.
I don't remember.
They did at the beginning of when he was coming out. They mentioned, or at the beginning of the match, they mentioned that he has won tag team gold before. Are we featured tonight? Awesome, sweet. But nonetheless, what do you think about this pairing? It could work. It could work. I'm not saying that it will, but it could. It's an interesting pairing. Yes, it's far from beer money. I'm not saying that they're even close to being that type of a tag team yet. But Gable, as we know, is a great tag team guy. He can work in the ring. These guys could work. Not really sure where it's going, but a lot of people think the heel turn's happening. What about you, Dave? What do you think?
I mean, yeah, I actually like it. As long as it's booked right, I think they could be a great tag team. I really do. And Chad Gable is amazing in the ring anyway. I mean, and Bobby Roode will just add to and help him too, being such a young guy. But I mean, all I kept hearing, sorry not to say you were wrong what they said, but all I heard the whole night during commentary is, oh, this is different for Bobby Roode. He's not used to being a tag team wrestler. He's a singles wrestler and all that. I was just like, oh my, it was just so annoying.
It was right at the beginning of the match where they said he's won. After that, no, they didn't mention that at all. But I'm just saying they mentioned it. After that, no. And it makes sense. He's not much of a tag team guy anymore. I mean, how long has he been with the WWE now? He's been in there for quite some time.
3 years, maybe.
So he's technically not a tag team guy anymore. He's more of a singles wrestler.
But the way they were
presenting as a tag team guy, though.
I know that, but the way they are presenting him is like, oh, he hasn't ever been in a tag team. Oh, so he's not used to this. He's used to only being a singles wrestler and all that. That's all I kept hearing the whole time. And it was annoying. I even tweeted out gifs of the beer money and all that. It's like, he was I want to say one of the greatest, one of the really good teams. Like, man, they were a really good team. And they had one of the best rivalries with Motor City that year, whatever they were doing, whatever the year that was. But back when WWE didn't even have tag teams really going on.
Right. I feel you. And what are your thoughts on the tag team itself?
I think it could be good if it's booked right and done right. I mean, do I think it's going to be a heel turn right away? No. I mean, honestly, if there was going to be a heel turn, I honestly was thinking it was going to be Chad Gable. Because I was thinking he was going to be like, I don't need to carry your ass or something like that. Or it's PG, so it'll probably be butt. I don't need to carry your butt. Sorry.
Maybe they're going to see how it goes. Maybe this is kind of like an experiment, see how the fans get behind it. What's up, Ed? How you doing? And I really do think that this could work out in Bobby Roode's favor. And if they want to do a heel turn, it could work out as well. I mean, imagine a feud between Gable and Bobby Roode.
Yeah,
I would dig that. I would not have no issues with the Chad Gable and Bobby Roode feud. What's up, Budweiser? Okay,
yeah,
so
Bobby Roode.
Late notifications, everybody. So let's all share the broadcast if you don't mind. Share the broadcast here on Twitter and on Periscope. So everybody who may have not got the notification yet, get it. I really do appreciate you guys doing that for us. Appreciate all the hearts right now. Thank you guys.
I mean, overall, it is an odd pairing because Chad Gable, you could say, is kind of a tag team specialist, if you want to say that. Maybe not a specialist, but all he's ever done is basically be in tag teams. So with him and Gable and him and Benjamin, you know, I mean, yeah, that was that. And kind of, I don't know, Rude doesn't look like a tag team wrestler, like they're even a team, just because they such different outfits, they don't choreograph each other. So yeah, I mean, it could work. I mean, it could be fun to see what they do with this team if they're not booked like jokes.
Appreciate
then yeah.
That, Budweiser.
But
Thank
it was
you,
the
Budweiser, for the super heart. All right, so let's see what happens with them, and that would be an interesting. It's kind of like the Ziggler-McIntyre experiment. They just threw them together, see how they go, and we'll see what they do after that.
Because if you look at Rude and McIntyre, they're very similar in stature. You know, well, some people might disagree, but I think they're very similar in stature. And I think Ziggler and Gable are very similar in stature.
No Justin today. It's just what was it? I saw Willing. What was it? I saw someone put it. What was his saying, Dave? Chad Gable's American Outlaw.
Ready, Willing, and Gable.
Yeah, it was Ready, Willing, and Glorious. That was the one I saw on Twitter. I was like, that's nice little. There's a nice little ring to it. So there you go, Cena Nation. There you go. That's it. Ready, Willing, and Glorious. That could work. That can honestly work. I like that. So next we did have the Elias and Alexa Bliss segment. Yes, Alexa Bliss was wearing a Ohio t-shirt and ended up bashing her home state. Yes, we saw that. Yes, we get it. We know what that's all about. I understand. It just didn't come off very well.
I agree.
It didn't come off very well at all. I understand the concept of her trying to still to stay the heel part. You don't want her to get cheered because in WWE's mind, on Vince McMahon's eyes, he didn't want to get Ronda Rousey cheered. Booed, excuse me. I bet he was worried that crowd was going to boo Ronda Rousey because it's Alexa Bliss's hometown. That's why they had her go out there, trash her hometown, because what happened? Ronda comes out there, interrupts her, and what happened? She got a nice little pop for it. And she got cheered. That's what they wanted. It worked out. It did its justice. But it didn't come out very well. And the match itself between Natalya and Alexa Bliss wasn't that great in my opinion. We had Alexa Bliss win with Ronda Rousey's own submission, the arm bar, something different. And then we had some physical action after the match where Bliss keeps the hold on Natalya. Rousey enters the ring. Bliss tries to come back in, but Rousey catches her, and that's when we get Alicia Fox getting thrown around like a pillow by Ronda Rousey. Bliss ends up taking her out. And that was about it. We got some little bit of interaction between Bliss and Rousey, more than we got in their first matchup. But your thoughts, Dave, on this little match between Alexa Bliss and Natalya?
Before that, I mean, seriously, I mean, I agree with you. I was talking to Justin about this last night on Twitter. It's like, he said, yeah, but she's a heel. That's what they do. I was like, yeah, but it's her hometown. She's wearing an Ohio shirt. You just basically trashed your hometown, but yet you want them to go buy your shirt. And then she tweets out later on that night, or maybe I think it was that night, oh, you know, I was only kidding. I love you, Ohio guys in Ohio. I mean, it's like, I just hated it. It was stupid. I've never seen them do that, really, where you have someone who has the city name on the shirt, and they're from the city, and they just trash the crowd.
Yeah, you trash the crowd, yeah. But I mean, you kind of see why they did it, though. You understand why.
Yeah, I understand why. I just think it's stupid that you would have her have a shirt with the city on it, and she's from there, and yet you're going to bash the fans you want to buy your shirt. That just makes no sense to me, and I agree with you. The match was pretty stupid, and I was kind of mad because I wanted to hear the song. I wanted to hear that Ohio song. I'm like, come on. But yeah, the match was bad.
Always bash their town. Yeah, she can never go home again. I think the bashing of hometown needs to go away. It's just been used too much for heels. Yeah.
Well, I
Alicia
don't mind
Fox
that.
from Wanda were rough. Yeah, they were rough. I'll give you that. Later, Chris. Thank you for joining us, my friend.
You know what? I don't mind the bashing of the cities. I don't care. But if you're gonna go out there and bash the city you're from and wearing the Miz, when he goes back to Cleveland, he bashes it all the time. But he's not sitting there wearing a Cleveland, Ohio shirt.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And we all know Miz really loves his hometown. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I know what you're saying. After that, we had Strowman, Ziggler, McIntyre backstage with Baron Corbin. Ziggler wants a Raw Tag Team title shot with Drew against the B Team, but Corbin says they're already promoted to match with the Revival versus the B Team. It sounds like Ziggler and McIntyre are headed off to attack the Revival so they can compete because Baron Corbin said, and I love this, it kind of made like Baron Corbin that it reminded me of those drug lords TV shows like Ozarks. You know, you want a title shot, but someone has it already. You want it, do something about it. He's not going to do anything about it. You want to do something about it, I'm not going to stop you. So what did they do? Ziggler and the McIntyre went up to the Revival, beat the shit out of them, took their spot, took the match. So it was B Team taking on Ziggler and McIntyre for the Raw Tag Team Championships. And finally, everybody, the B Team finally drops the titles. McIntyre and Ziggler are your new Raw Tag Team Champions. And I think we all know why they want it. It's to set up the Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins match that is going to happen at Hell in a Cell, tag team title match between McIntyre and Ziggler to take on Rollins and Ambrose. Your thoughts on the new tag team champions of Ziggler and McIntyre? And what about the match itself?
I mean, geez, dude. I mean, this title change happened in that backstage segment. I mean, it did. You already knew. Oh, new champions. Yep. I mean, you've seen that coming right there. I mean, and I feel bad for the Revival. I mean, what the hell? I mean, they finally get another title shot, and it's like Vince has no faith in them at all. Nope, we're gonna give it.
I saw someone tweeted that. Someone tweeted out that "fuck the Revival" is just a joke, but the head writers are taking it serious or something like that. I was laughing because it's funny because it's like the Revival get this shot, and they get it taken right from them. And we're everybody kind of, over the weekend, kind of had a feeling that the Revival may win the titles, that we might see a title change.
Yeah,
it was looking like it was going to happen, especially the way how it's been happening the last couple of weeks. The Revival have been looking the best they've been looking since they debuted on the main roster.
Yeah, even Corbin has been putting them over like crazy on Twitter as well. Like, my favorite tag team, top guys, and all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah, we got the title part.
Hey, I'll give credit, though. I mean, at least they gave Bo and Axel, let Bo and Axel have a good showing out there. You know, and maybe we won't get it at Hell in a Cell. Maybe Bo and Axel, they want to invoke the rematch clause at Hell in a Cell. So maybe they kind of wait a little bit till you get the tag title match with the Shield. Which I hate this, because now we have the Intercontinental title and the tag title is going to be basically in the same feud.
Yeah. Yeah, we could have – it's definitely a legit shot where the Shield walk out with all the titles. Intercontinental Championship and the Raw Universal Championship as well.
Yeah, and all these Rollins and Shield fans are going to love that the Shield have every single title on Raw. Might as well give Roman the women's title, too.
You're right. I agree with you, Baruski. I think creative lost their faith in them with the back-to-back injuries. You're right.
I don't think it's creative. I think it's Vince.
It's Vince. Absolutely. He's worried that, they're going to give them the titles and they're going to get hurt. Look what happened with Matt Hardy. They're already pretty much transitioning off TV because they're worried about his health. They don't want him to. They don't think he can compete that much anymore. So what are they?
Now Bray, look at Bray. Look at Bray now. I mean, he's not even on TV anymore. I mean, it's like, and that's another problem I have with this team. I mean, Ziggler and Drew were already getting TV time. If you took Harper and Bray and put them with Braun, you would add 2 more guys who are going to get more TV time, who aren't on TV right now. And it's like, you take it to 2 guys who are already on TV, so now, boom.
Yeah, definitely going to be interesting. Especially, speaking of tag teams, feeding off of the tag team title change. We had the AOP in the match where we saw a debut of a new manager joining AOP, and that is the 205 Live general manager, Drake Maverick, is walking with the Authors of Pain backstage and announces on Raw that he is now the new manager of the tag team of Authors of Pain, and says he's going to make them the next Raw tag team champion. And then they face two jobbers, and they absolutely destroy him. Actually, I like Rockstar Spud. He did a very, very good job on Impact.
Who?
And let's see, Drake Maverick, did a great job on Impact. Let's see what he can do with the Authors of Pain. I do not like him wearing the same shit as the Author of Pain.
I agree.
He looked fucking silly as hell wearing gear of AOP. He looked funny as fuck. But I'll tell you what, I can dig this. I can enjoy this. He's a perfect mouthpiece as a manager. We know this. We all know what he has and what he's capable of doing on the microphone. I'm not sure what this does with his 205 Live position. I don't know if this makes him a little bit more threatening now. Maybe he gets, I don't know if this gets AOP involved on 205 Live, kind of like his bodyguards. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what this leads with Maverick. We need Maverick to ask Ellering for the Book of Pain. Yes, I agree with you on that. So what are your thoughts, Dave? They finally answered our prayers and teamed up AOP finally with the manager. Maybe not the guy that we thought it would be, but it's the manager. Your thoughts?
I mean, I like the fact that they're seeing. It was just an odd when you seen it coming. Like, here comes Spud dressed up with AOP. It's like, is he? What's going on? It was just weird. I don't mind him being the manager, but if he's gonna be their manager, come out dressed like you're dressed on 205 Live. Come out in a suit. Come out like that. Be that kind of manager. Don't be the baseball manager. And where baseball, you see these old guys in the dugout wearing freaking like warm-up suits. It's just weird. Let them wear suits or whatever. I just don't like that. I'd rather see him. You know, it'd be better like Bobby in general. Yeah, like the Bobby Heenan when he would come out there and manage people, he'd come out in his suit and jacket or his shirt and tie, whatever it was. But yeah, something like that. I mean, I don't mind it as long as he, and like you said, 205 Live, does he become like a heel general manager now or what? It's interesting.
Exactly, Jody. You know what he reminded me of? When the kids come out to my house for trick or treat. He looked like
I thought he was gonna kill
a little kid wearing a AOP Halloween costume. That's what he looked like. That's what it reminded me of. Like, this does not look good on Drake at all. Just keep him wearing a suit or some type of outfit. Keep him away from that. No way. Just no.
You know what else I was thinking during this? I'm like, man, why didn't Strowman pick AOP? I mean, come on.
Oh yeah, that's actually true. That's a good point as well. It's Twins 2 starring Drake Maverick and AOP. Yeah. Oh god. All right, so let's get to probably one of the best segments of last night, only because one man was Shawn Michaels.
We're going there? I thought we were talking.
Shawn Michaels comes down to the ring and says there's a lot to talk about the WWE Super Showdown event from Australia on October 6th. Michaels says that Triple H versus The Undertaker and says the match will be insane. So insane that he will be there personally to see the match. Michael says that this will be a match that we all never forget, and he can almost guarantee that Michaels brings up the legends predicting Taker to win the match. He says he might agree if the streak was still intact, but it is not. Michaels was surprised to see how many legends picked Taker to win. Michael says he agrees with one of the WWE Hall of Famers, Steve Austin, because they think Triple H will win. Michaels goes on and talks about his friendship with Triple H. Michael says Taker needs to understand that Triple H is still the game and the cerebral assassin. Michaels thinks Triple H has a lot more in the tank than Taker does. He's just speaking facts, everybody. You know, everything he's saying is truthful. I hope you guys know that. Michael goes on, but then Who has to steal the fucking spotlight, everybody? No, not Triple H. No, not Stone Cold or Mick Foley or anyone like that. It was the goddamn Undertaker himself, the coward himself, the guy that shows up only when it's called for or when the money is right. And that's the Undertaker. Taker comes down to the ring. Taker takes the mic and says that this became personal. He brings up the friendship between Triple H and HBK, but the Undertaker says that in 20 years of their friendship, he took the best Triple H had and the best Michaels had, and he put them both down. This pains me to say this. This just pains me to read this. Taker says he reached in and took part of their souls out, and their egos can't accept it. Taker says he took the one thing that Michaels can accept, and that is his career, which is a fucking low blow. And Undertaker needs to watch his motherfucking mouth, all right? He needs to watch his mouth, all right? Michaels asked if that's what Taker thinks it's about. Michael wants to make something perfectly clear. He is a man of his word. Someone had to restore faith in the system. Someone had to stand on what he said. Michaels knows everyone in the business can say what they want and then change it 6 months later. I'm not sure if that's a shot at Ric Flair, but, I mean, goddamn. But he stayed retired because he is a man of honor and a man of integrity. So, I mean, he's just speaking truth to everybody. Michael's, spewing his heart out to the Undertaker. But, of course, Undertaker, being the motherfucking asshole that he is, says he stayed retired out of respect for the system, respect for the fans, and most importantly, respect for the Undertaker. Did you hear that part before? The Taker, respect for the fans, all right? The fans that you guys are that shit on him. Y'all should feel bad. Y'all should kick yourselves for. Okay, and that's when we get the fans chanting one more match. Sean says that he hears the chants every time he steps into the arena. Taker interrupts him and asks about respect. Sean goes on about how he's turned down millions of dollars, everybody, and people wanting a match with him every year. Now, that's the goddamn truth. He stayed retired out of respect to Taker. Sean turns his back, and Taker looks to leave. Taker asks if it's really respect or is it fear. Fucking asshole, Undertaker. Taker says if Sean had ever chosen to come out of retirement, there would have been just one person Sean came for, him. Taker says, make no mistake about it, he would put Sean down all over again. Sean knows it. Taker knows it. The fans knows it. Taker says there's one thing Sean knows. In Melbourne, Australia, Taker is going to put Sean's buddy Triple H down again. I thought HBK shined in that moment. I thought Undertaker was just being a fucking asshole. But your thoughts, Dave, of the Shawn Michaels and Undertaker interaction? All I got was this. Those two guys overshadowed the Super Showdown because all I got out of that is everybody wanting to see Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker one more time. That's all I got out of that. That's what everybody wants to see is that match one more time. Nobody really wants to see this Triple H match. They want to see Taker and Shawn. But your thoughts, Dave?
Man, I mean, yeah, I agree with that last part where you said it does seem like they teased Shawn and Undertaker. Shawn and Undertaker again. Yeah, but how cool was that? I mean, you get a surprise appearance by The Undertaker. I mean, wow. I mean, he rarely shows up on Raw anymore. He didn't even show up for the feud with John Cena at all. And over, what is it, that pay-per-view like a month out or something like that, and he shows up on Raw a month before it's even on there because it's supposed to happen. So, wow, I mean, Undertaker, wow, it was great. And I got to admit, that was kind of cool to see those two in the ring again because, it makes you kind of miss the bygone era, like Triple H said. I mean...
did it make you miss Shawn Michaels, Dave? Just fucking say it.
No, the era, because...
You miss Shawn Michaels. Just say it. Come on, Dave. We all know it. We all want to admit it in the chat room, but we're not. It's okay to say it. It's okay to admit it. It's all right. It's okay.
I miss the star power that we had back in the Attitude Era that we don't have today. and just the guys that we don't have that we had back then. I mean, you had Shawn Michaels, 2 Hall of Famers. I mean, you can deny it all you want, but Undertaker's a Hall of Famer. So I mean,
he's a Hall of Famer. I even know that. I can't even be dumb enough to say that Undertaker doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame. I'm not that stupid.
Yeah, I mean, 2 Hall of Famers in the ring, 2 guys that when Taker finally is retired, I mean, that's a guy you'll never see again. And I don't know if any other wrestlers.
Fucking riddance, I tell you. All I gotta say is this. I'll just raise my hand in this. If you've never seen an Undertaker entrance, it's something that you should try to experience. There's no other like the Undertaker, even though it takes about 25 minutes for him to get to the ring. Other than that, it's a pretty cool, awesome experience, especially at a WrestleMania or any type of a pay-per-view, because they go all out, with the fire, the shit like that. So yeah, I'll give him that. It's gonna be cool to see him at the Super Showdown, because imagine how many people in Australia have never seen the Undertaker ever in their life, or haven't seen him wrestle live before. This is huge for them. I can understand why they're building up this match to be who it is. I can understand that. And we can all shit on Triple H and the Undertaker, but we got to think about it in this mindset that if you were in Australia, living there, seeing that WWE hardly ever comes to your town. If they do, it comes there once a year, if that. This is a very exciting show, and that you're probably amped up and cannot wait for it to happen. So there might be matches that were like, oh, what the fuck? But you got to think about it that you're going to an Australia place where they don't get this at all very often.
Yeah, Tony, let me ask you this. I mean, remember we had that the Greatest Royal Rumble, and people seeing Triple H and John Cena on the card, they're like, oh, I don't really want to see that again, And they end up being one of the better singles matches on the whole show.
See, look, Cena Nation 97 is from Australia right himself. Look at that. That's awesome. It says, a huge show for our country. Can't wait. Only get a house show once a year. See, there you go. That's huge for them. And I'm sure, we're probably saying, oh, Undertaker Triple H again, really? But for them, this is probably their WrestleMania. There's something that I'm not sure if this is going to be an annual thing, but if it is, I mean, this is huge for them. I'm sure they're super stoked for this. Like, they can't wait. I can understand why it was probably an instant sellout, because
isn't it crazy?
Show's a house show, but this is something.
Yeah, this is seeming like it's being booked bigger than freaking SummerSlam and WrestleMania right now. I mean, the way they're promoting it and doing all these matches, I mean, this seems like the build that they would give to a WrestleMania match, doesn't it? I mean, it really does. I mean, geez, it does. And
yes, I will be watching it live. We will be watching it live. I'm not sure about Dave, but I will be waking my ass up early that morning.
What time?
Do we know what time? 5 a.m. Our time.
I thought it said 12 noon Eastern or something.
Yeah, so I'll be up. We will probably do a post show that night, not that early in the morning, of course not. But we will be doing a post show. I'll probably even do Periscope when the show starts. Get y'all guys amped up for it. It'd be interesting. It's gonna be. Come on, guys, get a coffee. Cook your breakfast. Come on, guys. I won't be watching at 5 a.m. No, Undertaker made me realize how bad wrestling is today. Yeah, I feel you. Okay, all you people, and I'm not saying that it's a lot of you, who wake up early and watch New Japan, and y'all gonna bitch about this. Come on now, be fair.
At the same time.
Be fair, everybody. Oh, I know Budweiser. I know you're a late night guy. I know you guys. Some of you guys are late night guys.
I'll definitely either make myself go to bed early or just stay up all night and watch it to Saturday, so it kind of works out in a way. Think about it.
It's gonna be play all day. I wouldn't doubt it, and I wouldn't doubt it, dude. Because I'll tell you what, I woke up when they had the NXT Japan show. That was rough.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. That was a bit rough. That was rough, but I remember waking up early and watching the Japan show as well. So let's move on with Raw as well. So we had the awesome Undertaker segment.
I agree.
My thing with the HBK and I don't necessarily want HBK. You guys know how huge of a fan I am of HBK. There's no denying it. I would love to see him back in the ring. I just don't want him to have to carry the Undertaker.
Yeah, but
we don't want to. Shawn Michaels has done that so many fucking times already. He hasn't been in the wrestling for 6 years, and you want him to go in there with the Undertaker and carry him to another good match? Calm down, Vince. Calm down. I get it. You want to sell out. A lot of people are saying WrestleMania. I don't think it's going to be WrestleMania. I think it's going to be Royal Rumble.
Really? Huh? Oh, that'd be interesting.
There's history if you think about it.
Yeah, you're right.
It's in Arizona where he lost, where his career was over. They want to sell out. It's in a baseball stadium. So make sure to sell. Yes, a Royal Rumble. Nostalgia alone should be a surprise if we see that. I don't want it, but I wouldn't be surprised. And they kind of fucking teased it. Go ahead.
Is it going to be a casket match?
I'll tell you what, if it is one more match, Shawn Michaels is winning. Shawn Michaels is winning. Shawn Michaels put Taker over so many fucking times, I wouldn't be surprised if Shawn Michaels.
But when did he take her over? Oh,
he puts Taker over all the goddamn time.
Taker put him over all the time.
You can talk about Undertaker beating the HBK, all that. But who was the first ever guy to beat the Undertaker in his own game, in his own match? Not only once, everybody, but twice. Twice. Who was it? Can I please hear in the chat? Who was it, everybody? Can you answer my question? Who was it? Who was the first ever guy that beat the Undertaker at his own game?
How did the finish come again against the Hell in the Cell match? I forgot.
Who was raised? Whose hand was raised at the end of the match, though?
Who was everyone talking about at the end? It wasn't Shawn.
No, that's not the question, though. Whose hand was raised at the end of the night? Whose hand?
Still talking about as everyone's favorite match.
For you, Dave, Shawn Michaels. So that's all that matters. You could say that Kane came in there and had to interfere. I think Shawn Michaels would have won regardless if Kane interfered or not. I mean, Shawn was definitely in control of that match, if you don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, towards the end, yes, Shawn did put Taker over, but in the beginning, in the 90s, Taker was putting Shawn over a lot.
That's just Shawn being Shawn and putting over Taker and returning the favor back in the day. I mean, who was the first ever one to beat him in the Hell in a Cell? You still didn't answer the question. Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, well, Kane, if you want to... Well, technically it was Kane if you want to get legit about it.
Exactly. Cena Nation knows, man. Cena Nation, bro, if I could, I would give you a freaking high five. You are so on point today on that. All right, so let's move on. Enough about Taker and Shawn Michaels. I'm sure we'll touch more on that on this weekend. But next, we had an interesting stuff happen, which was Dana Brooke and Ember Moon. An interesting combo. I liked it. I was like, okay, I can dig this. Not Alicia Fox, where we kind of we already know what's going to happen, against the Bosch connection or the Hug connection, whatever the hell you want to call them. They end up picking the win up Dana Brooke and Ember Moon. But what happened afterwards was Dana Brooke pretty much separating herself from Titus Worldwide. And the last 2 weeks, they have kind of spotlighted Dana Brooke a little bit. I don't know if this is more of them giving her more of a chance. Maybe they're going to let her get a shot at Ronda Rousey down the line. She's kind of a credible challenger for Ronda Rousey. We all know she's not great on the microphone yet, but she's gotten better in the ring. She's shown her athleticism. And she's looking like she's going to break away from Titus Worldwide. I don't know if Apollo Crews is going to be joining her, but we shall see. Your thoughts? What's up, Bliss? How you doing?
No, I remember watching the match. But did Dana and them lose, or they win? I can't remember.
Dana and Ember Moon lost because of Apollo and Titus. They were bickering outside, and they kind of distracted her.
Yeah, I couldn't remember that, but when I seen this pairing, it was like, why is Ember Moon out there? I mean, it made no sense at all to me. This is the oddest pairing I've ever seen.
But I liked it. I mean, it was different.
I didn't like it. I don't like Ember Moon. I didn't like Ember Moon involved with Dana Brooke because it's like, isn't she kind of a heel? Or maybe Titus Worldwide or faces, I guess. But it was just odd to see Dana Brooke mixed up in this tag match against Bayley. So it was team of faces versus team of faces, basically. And it made kind of no sense to me. It's like, why do you have faces face each other when they're or good girls facing each other when there's no story there really, other than Titus Worldwide being a joke, which has been for like the last year. So I mean, yeah, Dana Brooke, is she athletic? Yes. Is she decent in the ring? Yeah. I mean, but I don't think she's gonna be facing anyone or do anything credible. It's just time to kill.
Time to kill.
So, yeah.
Now,
I mean, Sasha and Bayley.
Time to kill. What the hell are they doing with Sasha and Bayley?
Exactly.
I can't believe this shit. If they're not going to make a women's tag division, why even have them wear matching outfits, have a tag team name? What is this? I don't understand the point of them being a tag team. It makes no sense when there's not a tag team division in the women's division. I don't get it. You would think
there isn't. I mean, look at what they do. Like, ironically enough, I know we don't really want to talk about the Bella Twins again, but you had the Bella Twins versus the Riot Squad. Before that, every week it was Sasha and Bayley versus the Riot Squad every freaking week.
They have ruined Sasha and Bayley. We all wanted a feud, well, at least a match. They ruined it. Yeah, I think they haven't announced it because the belts aren't made yet. You would think that there's a tag division in the women's. With all the tag team matches we get and the group of women that are kind of grouping up. You know, of course, we got the Riot Squad. Then we got Bayley and Sasha. Then you got the Bella Twins.
And look at SmackDown tonight.
Yeah, as well. You could throw them in the mix as well. It seems like they're doing a lot of tag team matches with women now, and I don't understand. I get on Raw, you probably want to do that to get more women on the show, especially in a 3-hour show. You want to do that, but my lord, man, it just seems like it's an oversaturated night of tag team matches on Raw. You don't get very many singles matches with women. I mean, we had 2 tag team matches last night with the women's.
Yeah,
and one singles match, which was more a lot of shenanigans in the mix. It wasn't really a legit, a one-on-one, no shit, we got a good match. We haven't seen that on Raw in quite some time.
Yeah, and you look what they're doing on Raw and SmackDown. I mean, you have the Iconics, I mean, and Sonya and Mandy. I mean, and now we'll get to name it Naomi's new partner with the, and it's like they're planting the seed. It seems like that we're gonna have a women's tag division.
Yeah, let's go to one of the most ridiculous and this segment pissed me the fuck off. Excuse my language, but this pissed me off.
All the stuff about the Shield jail.
No, we'll touch on that because we'll touch on that at the end of the show because that's when the Shield we get more involved. This is the Bobby Lashley bullshit. We touched on about All In on Saturday night. If you want to hit our replays. We touched on All In on Saturday night. You'll see it discussing All In. It's in our replay. Bobby Lashley. In the backstage with Baron Corbin basically wanting a match. Corbin is sending Lashley to an in-ring meditation with Jinder Mahal because he's angry and dangerous. So we get Jinder Mahal and Bobby Lashley in the ring, and they're doing a little meditation segment. Shanti, and we have Bobby Lashley being a jokester, everybody, and copying everything Jinder Mahal is saying because he's such a fucking jokester and comedian. And then we get the return of a guy who quit last week and is already back already, and Kevin Owens. They didn't even try with Kevin Owens. They just said, fuck it, let's just bring him back. But my first thoughts was, why the fuck did you leave? Impact, if you had a chance to resign Bobby Lashley, which I don't know if you had a chance, maybe his asking price was too much. Maybe the WWE offered him way too much money. Why? If he knew he was going to get treated like this, would he have come back? I don't think so, because my God, this is absolute ridiculous, pathetic, embarrassing. If I was Bobby Lashley, I would not be happy of how I've been booked and what type of storylines I've been in. This is a joke, an absolute joke. This guy was main eventing Impact. Yes, I get it, Impact. Nothing special to a lot of people. But he was having some fantastic matches. We built his character, did a lot of stuff to make himself serious again, went to MMA, did all the good stuff to make him look like a legit badass. A lot of us wanted him to take on Brock Lesnar, maybe even defeat Brock Lesnar. And now we have him doing segments where it's has his family involved, or he's doing some type of stupid ass meditation. The only positive is that we get Kevin Owens back and he powerbombed Lashley on the apron. Your thoughts, Dave, on what we're getting between Kevin Owens and Bobby Lashley?
See, at first I thought you were kind of blaming Lashley, but then you went on to basically say it's them. Yeah, creative, they're just, man, they're killing him. They really are. I mean, yes, I think the whole Kevin Owens return thing is mainly because they realize, oh, we just released that he's going to be at the Showdown, so how can we really say that he quit if he's going to be booked for there, you know? So maybe that's why they brought him back so quickly. And I mean, I'm kind of, in a way, interested in Bobby and Owens because I think that could be a really good match. Because those two guys could probably have some great matches, I think. But, yeah, I mean, yeah, the other stuff, it was just kind of just more stupid. And, like, why did he even come back? It's like, geez. Is it the fact that they're trying to bring him down because he was in Impact Wrestling and want to kind of, like they did with Christian when he first came back from TNA, they made him sit on the ECW show for like a year before he got even mentioned on the other shows? I mean, it's just, yeah.
It's a joke, man. I know a lot of people are not Bobby Lashley fans. That's fine. You don't have to be. You may not like him. That's cool. But if you didn't follow him from his Impact and how he rebuilt himself, when he left the WWE, he was a joke. Like, I didn't like Bobby Lashley. Even when he first came to TNA/Impact, I didn't really care for him very much. But he started rebuilding his character. He started getting a little bit better on the microphone. Started putting on some pretty damn good matches. Now he gets shipped. He signs with the Raw. He signs with WWE. He has a sort of successful debut on a Raw. And after that, it's been... He's on Finn Balor land. That's when you put guys that WWE does not know what the fuck they're going to do with. You put him on Finn Balor land because that's what Finn Balor is. He has no direction. He's just put in a direction, and he's usually going to lose.
You know what's really sad?
Bobby Lashley, you can put on some women on Finn Balor land.
Yeah. You know what's really bad, though? Bobby Lashley's last good match, when do you think it was?
With Roman.
No. Okay, yeah, I guess I'll give you that. But his last good feud, yeah, I mean... Like, really, I guess that was, yeah, I was going to go back to Impact, but yeah, I almost forgot about him and Roman, but yeah, I mean, and he beat him and then nothing happened. You know, nothing happened. It was a pointless win because they didn't do nothing for him at all.
And the thing is, too, is you got this storyline kind of built up with Kevin Owens. Oh, he quit. Yeah, we know it's kayfabe. We know he didn't legitimately quit. We kind of know he kind of just signed a new contract. But the thing that they messed up with is they announced the match at the Super Showdown. They announced the match already. So we kind of knew that this Kevin Owens bit was stupid. It didn't work because he's supposed to be in a tag match with Jinder Mahal to take on Bobby Lashley and John Cena, if I'm not mistaken. Or if that was for the China show. I mean, I could have my shows mistaken when they just recently had this past weekend. But we kind of knew Kevin Owens was still involved. He's still around. I wish they would have fed off it a little bit longer. Kind of had him off TV for a little bit longer, kind of built up the story. Because if you guys don't remember from last night's Raw, him quitting was not mentioned at all before he attacked Bobby Lashley. They didn't announce that they didn't even go back. Oh, remember Kevin Owens quitting on Raw? Wasn't even mentioned. They didn't tease it. They didn't remind you until he actually finally showed up, which shows you how much they fucking cared about that goddamn story.
You know, they could have played this up for a while, too. And they could even play it going into this show. It's like, oh, we have a scheduled match, or we don't have Kevin Owens just quit. They could have had Baron Corbin be the one to get Kevin Owens to come back and have it be a few weeks before the show. Instead of just to have him fill a match on a co-branded pay-per-view to take on Bobby Lashley at Hell in a Cell, probably.
So let's get to the main event at Raw, which Corbin ended up switching himself out of the main event and inserting Braun Strowman. So it was Braun Strowman taking on Finn Balor. But the whole night, we had Corey Graves giving updates on the Shield, telling everybody what's going on because they were arrested. We had Mike Rome, who was apparently at the police station, giving us live fucking updates on what's going on with the Shield. They were photographed and booked. They saw the judge and all this shit, which is funny because it's Labor Day.
Yep.
There's no judges there on Labor Day. Hello.
And not just that.
I wish I was a younger kid again. But I'm sorry. Yes, you're actually right back there. Excuse me. I wish I was a little kid again where I didn't realize this stuff when this stuff didn't even come to my mind. You know, oh, yeah, they're at the judge. Yeah, sure, yeah. Now when you're an adult, you're like, really? They saw a judge at 9:30 at night? Really? On a Labor Day weekend? Really? Come on, WWE. I know, I get what you're doing, but it didn't make sense at all. The whole updates throughout the night. And then you had Corey Graves. Basically, Corey Graves should have just sat there and said, "You better stay tuned because the Shield's showing up on Raw at the main event right tonight." That's basically what he should have said instead of opening the tweet and saying, "Oh, Mike Rome said the Shield have just been released from jail." Yeah, we get it. You should have just said that they're coming up and showing up on Raw because that's what happened. They ended up coming down at the end of the main event because Balor was getting taken out by McIntyre and Ziggler. And that's when they had the Shield come down. But we had something interesting after that, which was it looked like the roster was going to separate them again. But instead of separating them, all the heels took them out. Everybody took them out. We had Kevin Owens, The Ascension, even Drew Gulak, The Authors of Pain, Elias, Jinder Mahal, and several others. Who else was out there?
Michael Kanellis.
Michael Kanellis, excuse me.
I mean, it's going to be tough to name everyone who's out there. There was just a lot of heels out there.
Most of the heels. Yeah, and Kevin Owens, who was in a feud in the last month and a half with a guy that he was trying to take the money in the briefcase from.
Yeah.
He was joining side, which makes no absolute zero fucking sense. Excuse my language again. I'm sorry, I'm just upset. So we have the heels taking out the Shield, which it kind of makes sense because you've had the Shield pretty much beat them up the last couple of weeks because they've been trying to keep them away from Strowman and Ziggler and McIntyre, and they probably just got tired of their crap. But I don't know what to think of this. It's there's a little bit of a treatment of what happens next week. Seeing Gulak out there was absolutely strange, especially since he's a 205 Live guy. But your thoughts, Dave?
Yeah, and I mean, the way they led up to this whole thing, I mean, and someone, I don't know who sent me this on Twitter, but it was hilarious. I said it's almost 11 o'clock at night, but yet they got bailed out of jail. And someone sent me a tweet with a picture of the guys from the night court. That was a good one. I don't know who it was, but it was funny. So, yeah, I mean, night court, that was just great. But, yeah, it's made no sense. Who's going to get Labor Day alone? Who's going to get bailed out of jail at 10 o'clock at night? Nobody. I'm sorry. And not only that, how did they come back to the arena, Tony? Do you remember?
They drove a police car back.
So they stole the police car and brought it back.
You're right, yeah.
I mean, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Do you think this is what our parents thought when we watched wrestling when we were this young? Man, this show's so stupid. I mean, this is so obvious. I mean, it's just like, man, like you said, us as adults now watching, it's like, man, this is so stupid. We know what's going to happen. Oh, now they're out of jail? Really? I mean, it's like...
Yeah, you should really have to have them show up in the cop car with Roman Reigns driving it. Like, we get it. They're out of jail, but they had to show up driving the cop car. They couldn't have all came out from the back. But yeah, we are looking too much into it. I feel you, but it was just kind of silly. I mean,
realistic. Look at it realistically. I mean, it's like, how are they gonna get out of jail and then they're gonna steal the car, come back? They're going back to jail now? I mean, what the hell?
Yeah, they wanted an Austin moment. Absolutely. Dean saw his jail buddies and were helped to steal the van. Right, exactly. Is Rollins really hurt? I'm not sure. I know he got cut up. That spot he took was pretty brutal.
Yeah, it was. I was surprised at that spot, really. I mean, I was really shocked that they did that. They threw him off the stage and boom. But I think what's going to happen when all these Shields attack him, this is just going to set up the old school Shield, going to get revenge either throughout the year or throughout the coming weeks, where you're going to have guys like Michael Kanellis going to wrestle a match on Raw, and all of a sudden the Shield music hits and they're going to start attacking these guys for revenge one by one. And I think that's what it's going to end up being, probably. No, you're not going to see the Shield show up on 205 Live, sorry. But I'm just saying, to take out Gulak. But I think that's what it's going to lead to, though, really. I mean, you're going to have the Shield taking these guys out one
Shield, piece by piece. They're going to take them out backstage next week or coming. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're going to get revenge on everyone. Absolutely.
It was a cool. I hope Rollins is okay and all that, because that was a brutal spot. Even the second one was pretty brutal, too, where they slammed the door in his face. That looked pretty brutal, but I'm sure it wasn't as brutal as it looked. But, yeah, I mean, man, I kind of liked it, though. It was kind of cool to actually see the Shield not actually dominate everything, so that was kind of nice for a change. But, I mean, I'm sure it'll change in the coming weeks, and Reigns will probably keep his title, and then, yeah, and the Shield will probably have all the belts. But, yeah, I mean, it was a cool ending to Raw, I'll give you that. I enjoyed this ending better than last week's ending to Raw. I thought this was really good.
Yeah, he sliced his arm pretty good. And maybe I think they threw him a little bit too hard into the car. I think they didn't think the car was that close to the ramp when they launched him, because he went straight to the glass, and it was just done with. So, yeah. Brutal
you
spot.
can blame Rollins, too, probably.
Yeah.
You know, you can probably blame Rollins for that, because he probably jumped with that, you know, like jumped into it maybe too hard.
All right, Dave, so your overall thoughts on Raw last night. Everybody give us your ratings in the chat as well. Your thoughts, 1 through 5.
Only two things really stood out to me, and that was the Taker Michaels and then the ending, and that was basically it. That really interested me in the whole show, so I think it was like maybe a 1.5. It wasn't that good of a show at all. Another typical holiday episode.
All right, we got 2 3s, 2, 6 out of 10, 0.1.
6 out of 10.
I missed most of the show, but caught the second half and third hour. Okay, fair enough. I'd give it a 3, a solid 3. I mean, the Michaels Undertaker stuff was really cool. I enjoyed the main event for the most part. The tag team titles I was happy about.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
But I was excited. The most part, if you got me, like I say all the time on the show, if you got me sticking around, I'm not bored or anything like that, yawning because I'm getting tired from a 3-hour Raw, I'll give it a solid, entertaining show. So I'll give it a 3.
Sounds like it was entertaining at all.
Anything with Undertaker is good. Okay, fair point. So let's move on to SmackDown Live, because we touched a lot on Raw from last night. I mean, a lot of things happened on it. But before SmackDown Live came on air tonight, they had the Mixed Match Challenge announcement that it will return on Tuesday, September 18th on Facebook Watch. The second season will feature 14 episodes and will air after SmackDown Live. The pre-show will air at 9:50 p.m. Eastern. Each 30-minute episode will feature 2 matches.
Ooh, you said 2? That's interesting.
Matches. Yeah, so these that's different. I think last year there was only 1 match.
Yeah, so this is really going to fuck up 205 Live, but, I mean, you said there's a 9:30 pre-show?
A pre-show will air at 9:50 p.m. Eastern. So I guess, are they going to end SmackDown early?
Or are they going to be on during SmackDown?
It comes on right after SmackDown. So, yeah, it's just fucking confusing.
Yeah, I mean...
So we'll figure that out, I guess, when it comes. So they announced the teams. We'll go with SmackDown. We'll go with Raw first, because these are, I don't mind any of the Raw tag teams. We got Braun and Alexa Bliss returning. Team Little Hands, or whatever they were.
Little Big,
excuse me. We have Sasha Banks and Bobby Lashley as a team. Last year, I think it was Sasha Banks and Finn Balor.
Yeah, Boss Club.
So Finn Balor has moved on from Sasha Banks and is now with Bayley.
Oh, that's interesting.
Jinder Mahal is teaming up with Little Hands, excuse me. Jinder Mahal is teaming up with Alicia Fox, and then we got the 2 Canadians, Kevin Owens and Natalya. teaming up. I actually like that. I like that team a lot right there. So I hope they do good. And now we go to the SmackDown Live team. So we have Miz and Asuka, the returning champs. We have Uso and Naomi, Jimmy and Uso and Naomi returning. And then they have Rusev and Lana returning. 3 teams returning. So we have 2 new teams. Really? Out of SmackDown Live, 2 new teams? Do we really need to see Jimmy Uso and Naomi again? They couldn't put Cien Almas?
Oh, right? Yeah.
What happened there? Why couldn't they do that? Why they couldn't do that? Or put Brie and Daniel Bryan?
Yeah, I thought that's where we definitely see that.
Oh, but like no. But yeah, we get 2 new teams, everybody. Charlotte, who is no longer with Bobby Roode, because obviously is on Raw. She is now with AJ Styles. That's an interesting group. And then we got the group that we think we all are probably hoping to get. Yes, I was a big fan of Big E and Carmella, but instead of Big E, we get R-Truth with Carmella. So, Dave, if you were going to have to pick early favorites, remember, there's no more Asuka streak.
Right.
None of that holding her back this time. So you got to pick 2 early favorites, the Raw side and SmackDown side. Who do you got?
For 2 favorites are both? I would say AJ and Charlotte. They do have history because they used to, on the Up, Up, Down, Down, if anyone watches that, they've teamed up on there in games, so that's interesting. But yeah, I mean, they make an interesting tandem, and I guess I would go Miz and Asuka again just because they're the returning champs. And now you said 2 from Raw?
No, 1 from each. 1 from each, SmackDown and Raw. Who do you have being in the finals from SmackDown? Who do you have from the finals in Raw?
Okay, I'll go AJ and Charlotte, and from Raw. Okay, give me the Raw ones really quick.
Strowman, Bliss, Lashley, Banks, Balor, Bayley, Fox, Mahal, Owens, Natalya.
I guess I'll just say Strowman and Bliss, just because.
Yeah, that's probably the early favorites. Who's your dark horse?
I'll say Miz. No, not Miz. Asuka and Carmella. And Truth. Yeah, I like them. I like that team together. I don't know why, but tonight they fit well together.
Oh yeah, imagine AJ versus Braun. Yeah, that could possibly have Lil Zay, Bobby and Sasha, dark horse. Okay. AJ, Charlotte, and Finn, whoever that was.
Yeah, that would be cool. Can you imagine that? Charlotte and Sasha Banks again. And who's her partner? Bobby Lashley? That would be interesting. AJ and Bobby Lashley?
Yeah. The thing with the Mixed Match Challenge is it's not overbooked by Vince. They're allowed to kind of be creative on the show. They get to be themselves. You get those little fun, cool promos, hyping themselves up before the actual Mixed Match Challenge. I know we are very entertained with it last year. I know, or if it was this past year, I'm not really sure when it was. I thought it started last year. Dave said it started a little bit past January. But some of the matches kind of hit or miss. Some of them are good, some of them are not. So let's see how they go. They got some interesting teams together, and it's not as obvious as it was last year. I mean, we all figured it was going to be Asuka and The Miz in the finals because why? We didn't think Asuka was going to lose her streak. This time it's a little bit wide open, a little bit. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, and also,
but let's move on. It got over in March last year. Okay, thank you.
Really quick before we go to SmackDown, would you say, I think it has, I think this year, this coming season in a couple weeks, has added more star power to the Mixed Match Challenge?
I'm sorry you broke up a little bit.
Do you think obviously it's added star power because you got AJ, who is the WWE champion right now, but I do think it added more star power to it. So
you guys, this is an early question now. Do you guys want us to go live during the SmackDown, the Mixed Match Challenge, or afterwards? Because during the Mixed Match Challenge last year, we went on live after the matches were off air. So you got to let us know if you guys would prefer us to go live before, during, or after. So you guys got to let us know that. So we'll make that decision in the next couple of weeks.
That's going to be interesting. Is it going to be like an hour show now? Because
30 minutes.
Matches.
It says 30 minutes. Everybody's saying after, so it looks like we'll be going live after the Mixed Match Challenge.
Yeah, because I think people want to check it out too.
Yeah, of course, because they know it's different type of. It's now we all know how it's going to be. It's not going to be. It's more. They're allowed to be themselves a little bit more. So that's what makes it a little. It's a
Yeah,
better
I
show.
mean, who wouldn't want to see AJ and Balor in the ring again? You know, I mean, that would be fun.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting, and I believe in 2 weeks, everybody. So mark your calendars. 2 weeks from today. We had Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella open up SmackDown Live, and that's when we had a Renee show a video of The Miz and Maurice at the arena hours before the show had started to an empty arena, calling out Daniel Bryan and Brie, and of course they don't come out, and that's when we have Zelina Vega and Almas interrupt them, and we have another rematch from Daniel Bryan and Cien Almas from last week. We have it again tonight to open up SmackDown Live. Your thoughts, Dave, of this match in the opening segment of Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella, and what are your thoughts of the build-up of the match between Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella taking on The Miz and Maurice?
I think the build-up has been good for this. I think SmackDown has done a really good job with two feuds, Joe and AJ and Miz and Bryan. I think they've done great with these two feuds. I really do, and I think this has been good too. And even that promo they showed earlier where Miz is out there in an empty arena calling out Daniel Bryan, it's like, okay. But yeah, this opening match I thought was fantastic. I really enjoyed this match. And we actually got a clean finish this time. So yeah, I thought it was really good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, Cien Almas ends up taking the loss against Daniel Bryan. I think last week he won, I believe. And
it was a DQ.
Yeah, I mean, it was a night. They're really spotlighting Almas the last couple of weeks, especially tonight. They spotlighted him again in the main event. He did get a little one up on Daniel Bryan again. He tried to, at least, and he ended up failing. But
well, if you listen to the dirt sheet, I think it was Brian, not really dirt sheet. I think Bryan was quoted in saying this in an interview that this is one of the matches he's been pulling to have.
We touched on it about a week ago that this is a match that he's been wanting to have. He specifically asked for this match, and they are really building up Almas and Vega. And then Brie again almost fucks up, and that knee spot to Vega was brutal. It looked like she clocked her right in the face. So back-to-back nights of Brie Bella messing up. So hopefully she can get that taken care of by
I don't know, man. That kick that Daniel laid on Cien in that match, that was pretty brutal. It looked like it hit him right in the face, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, and a good match. I'm very curious to see what they do with Almas. I don't know if they're going to continue this little feud with Daniel Bryan in the future. But
I think next week we get a mixed match challenge or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Next week with those four.
Wouldn't shock me at all. The rust is real truth and loyalty for sure. And yes, I wanted to touch on that. I do not like, I get the what chance, but I do not like it when you have a guy like an Almas who we all know doesn't speak very good English. And then at least this man is fucking trying. You got to give this man credit for a guy who doesn't speak very much English to go out there and speak in front of millions of people on TV and thousands of people live in the arena and has to remember what he has to say in the promo. And then you're gonna have assholes and dickwads in the arena, but the what's, you know, it's gonna mess him up. Let him try to get better. They're giving him a big opportunity, and what you're gonna do is end up fucking it up for Almas because he's not gonna be comfortable going out there and speaking. I don't know exactly why he can't really understand what he's saying. I didn't know if he had this much of an issue back in NXT, but it seems like it looks like he shouldn't talk at all. But man,
for the record,
it's just I don't understand it. I just don't. Go ahead.
I would say, for the record, the Bizarre One does not condone every Michigan person chanting anything.
Right, and Shinsuke Nakamura is the same, you know.
Oh, speaking of him,
Asuka, the same. You know, they're trying. You got to give them credit for it because going out there, they don't speak a lick of English that very well.
So but they have gotten better.
For them. They're doing something that's not comfortable to them. And then you want them to go out there and live on television, expect them to not mess up, to remember their lines, to not only not remember their lines, stuff that is in English that they can't really say completely. Or they, it's not going to pronounce as clearly as you and I would say it. It's you gotta give them the benefit of a doubt. Even if it's an Almas who's a heel, saying what and disrespecting them like that doesn't help the cause at all. You're hurting the cause.
Yeah, you couldn't even tell. I mean, and to Asuka and Nakamura's, to talking about them, they have gotten better at English, I think, with their promos. Because you can get what they're saying, but like tonight during Almas's promo, he was trying to joke around, but you couldn't really tell he was joking because his English is so bad. When he was trying to say the great Daniel Bryan, he tried to put up air quotes, but I don't think he really did it right. So he was trying to be funny, but it's not. Don't write promos for a guy who can't really speak English. And at least Nakamura. And we didn't even see him at all tonight.
Or if you're going to have Almas talk, let him say a few words that he's comfortable saying, or at least that he can say clearly. Not have him say full sentences and have him out there talking for a while. That's not going to work with Almas. That's what Vega's there for. She's his mouthpiece. She's there to talk for him. Have him say a few words. That's it. That's it. That's all you have to do. So let's move on to the next. We had the last segment between Charlotte and Becky Lynch. They talked about it. Flair. I'm sorry. Here we go. Fans. Here we go. Flair goes on about how Becky threw away their 5-year friendship. She dares Becky to do the same in her face. Becky promises she will because she's all about taking now. Becky says it was a full-time job being Flair's friend. Becky is all about taking back her spot at the top. Becky doesn't care what it takes. The title will come back where it belongs. Flair says Becky will get her wish at Hell in a Cell. Flair says Becky was never second best as her friend, but she is in the ring. They have more words, and Tom thanks them for their time. And that's when we got the little video packages between Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton. But first, I want to get your thoughts on the segment between Becky Lynch and Charlotte.
I really liked it. I think Becky came off so cool. I mean, because I know people say she's not really a heel or whatever, and they'll never boo her, and they probably won't. But to me, she came off heel-ish and really cocky, and I love this attitude and this what you said character change. Because what they say that, we're not saying that she's a heel or a face. We're just saying they all have gripe in their own opinions. People will see that how they want, but still, just Becky's whole attitude, it was really heelish, and I really liked it. And I mean, I liked how she just sitting back, calm, cool, and like shine up that title, it's gonna be mine. I mean, I just love the attitude of hers. I'm really digging this, and the way why they got a fucking tease on Twitter that it's gonna be in the cell and not mention nothing, because Charlotte tweeted about, you want to face me in the cell.
Oh, that would have been great, but it looks like there's only going to be 2 cell matches.
I know, but she tweeted that.
Yeah, to me, honestly, after what we got from Styles and Samoa Joe, what we're about to talk on, how that match is not in a Hell in a Cell is blasphemy. And it's an absolute joke how they don't have that in Hell in a Cell.
Yep.
That's the most personal feud on the show, other than maybe Daniel Bryan.
I don't know.
And The Miz. And this one should be
I think it is
Hell in a Cell.
I think this is the most personal. I mean, Miz and Daniel Bryan is personal, but not to this level.
Right. So after that, we had Naomi take on Peyton Royce in a match, kind of in a rematch of their matches a couple of weeks ago. Naomi gets the win. Iconics attack her after the match, and that's when we get the return of Asuka, everybody. Asuka, who has been off TV only in Brawl breakups. Yeah. But yeah, I know it's a feud that I'm sure probably not all behind, but yeah, Asuka's finally back on our television screens. Your thoughts, Dave?
Yeah, it's funny. We're just talking about this on the Raw side of the show. I mean, how they're putting together all these teams. All of a sudden, Naomi needs a partner, which I tweeted this out earlier in the day that Asuka would be a perfect person to help her with the Iconics. I didn't think it would actually happen because we didn't see Asuka on TV, so I was pleasantly surprised that, yeah, like, finally get to see Asuka back on TV. I mean, geez. I mean, her last match was at freaking, what pay-per-view was that? Before SummerSlam? Yeah, that was her last match. Extreme Rules were in the Shark Cage, yeah. But, yeah, I mean...
Mavarewski says, name this team. Oh, that's a tough one.
What team? Asuka and Naomi?
Yeah. Definitely not entrance for the kids.
Oh, why not?
I mean, it could be interest. Japanese glow. Hey, there you go. That could work. I don't know, man. But goddamn, this is just. Sure, you want to get these two ladies together. They obviously don't know what they want to do with Asuka quite yet. They're more focused on Becky Lynch and Charlotte at the moment. I'm not gonna argue that, but they should have something a little bit better. They should have a little bit better than what they're doing with Asuka. I mean, look at Carmella. She's in a lot better of a spot than Asuka in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, and the women were heavily focused tonight, if you think about it, and I'm glad they did it, but, oh my God, the beginning of this match, the promo, my ears were bleeding during this iconic promo, oh my God. It's like, shut up and stop giving the microphones, please.
Yeah, they're not doing very well yet. We'll see what happens. All right, so we got the two video packages between Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy, and they are really playing up this feud very well. They're basically saying that Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy are going to do whatever it takes to win this match. Whatever crazy spots it takes, they're going to do it. And what I've read online from Sean Ross Sapp, another guy that a wrestling news writer, dirt sheet writer, if you want to say, that Jeff Hardy requested to have a match in the Hell in a Cell. He wanted that. Dave mentioned it, that this has been one of his dream matches. So they're doing a really good job of building these two guys up. And all I can think is if I just hope Jeff Hardy doesn't try to kill himself during this match, because it's possible. But the way they're playing it up and making it seem like Jeff Hardy will do whatever it takes, I just don't want him to fly off the top of that cell. I just don't want him to die.
Yeah, could you imagine him trying something like a swanton on the announce table from the top of the cell? Like, holy, I mean, and this could be Jeff's last match. If he really is that hurt, this could be it. I mean, if it is, I hate to say that, but I mean, he's been doing this to his body for well over 20 years. So, I mean, it's eventually going to catch up to you. And it is, I mean, and this is a good feud, too. I don't mind this in the cell, but I'd rather be, like you said, Joe and AJ.
Joe, if you're going to show, bro, or have stupid, sarcastic, smart-ass remarks, they're not funny. So, I'm just going to ignore them next time. Remember in January 2018, he jumped off two-story onto Orton? Yeah, I'm sure Matt has his hand in this. I wouldn't doubt it. Would not doubt that the least bit. Next, we did have the oh gosh, the R-Truth and Miz segment.
Are you getting kind of sick of this Truth, like doing this every week? It's like he's like, oh, Carmella, I gotta face Carmella. You getting sick of that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit overboard, but it's still funny. I get it. It's a little bit over the top, but it's still funny. Him calling Maurice Carmella and saying, well, you know, you married Carmella, that stuff, that was funny. I actually kind of chuckled at it. It's a little bit over the top. It's a little bit too silly kind of sometimes. But hey, they're in the Mixed Match Challenge. It's gonna happen a lot more now. We're gonna have to get used to it. And I mean, fuck, we got R-Truth in the main event of SmackDown Live tonight. When's the last time R-Truth has a main evented a SmackDown Live?
7 years ago.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, and we'll touch more about it, that tonight WWE did a really, really good job. They pretty much almost everybody on SmackDown Live, maybe other than a couple of people, something's going on. There's feuds going around everywhere.
Except Nakamura.
Except for Nakamura, who is not wanting to be on TV. I like it.
He refuses to wrestle. Yeah, he refuses to his competition. Like, yeah, he's refusing to go out there. But your United States champion isn't on SmackDown. That makes no sense to me at all.
Yeah, but it's storyline built. So, I mean, it makes sense in a way. It's getting more heat behind Nakamura. Yeah, I have no clue who they're actually going to choose for him. If they're going to bring someone up or bring someone in, it's going to be very, very interesting to see what they actually do. Because is he going to be on the rest of Hell in a Cell card, or is he not going to
Right?
be
That's
in the
what I'm
match?
thinking.
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. But R-Truth was announced to be in the main event to take on The Miz with the Maurice at his corner. We had R-Truth eventually go up to Carmella and mentioned that Maurice called him a Staten Island trash, which got her upset and said, "All right, I'll be in your corner at the main event tonight." Yeah, what is up with Ty Dillinger? He hasn't done much on the WWE SmackDown Live roster since he's been brought up. I'm not sure what's going on. Isn't there always a feud going on? What are they supposed to do? Okay, this guy is an idiot. By Joe 43578, you're a fucking moron. Your thoughts? R-Truth and Miz being announced as the main event.
I mean, at first I was like, oh, okay, this is like, weren't they a tag team before? But yeah, when Miz even mentioned that, and then the whole stuff with I mean, when they added Carmelo to this, because honestly, I didn't know about the Mixed Match Challenge until they announced it on the friggin' show, because I didn't even see it break news or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I was like, okay, that's interesting. And now we got Miz and Carmelo. I'm like, okay, this is a little interesting. And then, yeah, I mean, it kind of interested me a little more. I'm sure we'll get to the main event. I'll talk about that. But yeah, it was kind of fun little interaction. And Ty, my dude, no one likes Kid Rock in Detroit or Michigan, period. So no need to try and get over by dropping his name.
Yeah, ever since Ty lost to Eating English, he's been going south. Yeah, absolutely. Next, we did have the AJ Styles and Samoa Joe segment. We'll touch on that a little, Zay. That's the next segment after this. Joe takes the mic and yells out, "Wendy." Joe says it seems like the Styles family has started to take his threat serious. Joe pictures how Styles' family, AJ included, are locked up in his house waiting on Joe to show up. Joe says that's not going to happen because he's not a monster. Joe continues to address Wendy and says he has delivered AJ back home on a Tuesday night. Joe's actions have forced AJ to actually care about his family, to actually go back home and look after his family. Joe wants the Styles plan to enjoy tonight. Joe says that there will be a lot more nights just like this soon because a very bad man is coming to take AJ's title at Hell in a Cell and make AJ go night-night. And that's when we get AJ to appear. And then we had them two go at it. And, I mean, this is the most personal feud on SmackDown Live right now. They've been going at it for the last couple of weeks. It's definitely hit another level after tonight, or after, I think, the last couple of weeks, it's been hit another level. And how this match is not in the Hell in a Cell, like I mentioned earlier, is just crazy. You would think this match would be in the Hell in a Cell, but it's not. Your thoughts on the Samoa Joe and AJ Styles segment?
Yeah, one thing that caught my eye right away was Joe bleeding on his forehead. I mean, that was just like, okay, did AJ get a hold of him already, or what's going on there? But yeah, I mean, he already had blood, so it was like, what the hell? But I mean, yeah, I mean, that was fun. I mean, I liked it, and they kind of had AJ get one up this time, so it's like each week it's something different, you know? It's like last week Joe got the upper hand, this week AJ did. I mean, it's fun. I mean, I'm really digging this feud a lot. It's my favorite thing going on right now, honestly. Joe and AJ feud. I do like Miz and Brian,
yes,
but I mean, it's not as heated and not as really. This match right here really should be in a cell, and it's for the title, so that makes all the more sense. I mean, I'm loving it.
And maybe they have 2 more weeks, so maybe they announced that, you know, I thought for sure Paige was going to say this is going to be in a Hell in a Cell. So maybe next week she announces that it will be, because they just...
Well, let's not forget Super Showdown. They have a match scheduled, and it's going to be a stipulation, so it could be a cage.
Yeah, it's very, very true. So before we get to the tag match and the main event, I just want to say this is Get the Tables podcast. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this Tuesday evening. We are live every Tuesdays, Thursdays, and this weekend we're usually live on Sundays, but this weekend we're going to be live on Saturday evenings. I'm not even going to try and compete with the opening weekend of football, so we're going to be live on Saturday night shooting the shit with everybody. We'll be live Saturday at the usual 10 Eastern time. Also, we are live on YouTube as well. We're not on YouTube, iTunes, but we're on YouTube and on Periscope. You can find us on YouTube at Get the Tables Podcast. We're finally over 70 subscribers, everybody. So thank you very much for getting us over the 70 subscriber mark. We're trying to get to 100 on YouTube. And right now, currently, everybody, fingers crossed, I'm going to wait till the weekend to actually officially announce this. But right now, we're over the 1,000 followers on Periscope, everybody. So thank you so much for finally getting us over 1,000 followers on Periscope. It's been a huge accomplishment, something that I never imagined we would ever touch. So thank you so much for getting us to that mark. Really do appreciate that. 2,000 is the next. So if we can keep that 1,000 followers throughout the weekend, I want to make sure there's no like porn bots and shit like that. There'll be another giveaway at the end of the month. We'll do another free giveaway. Last week, our last pay-per-view we did it was Budweiser who won. I'm sorry, Bobaruski who won. So this week, all you got to do is next giveaway will be similar to the last one. You go on YouTube, you comment the video, and you'll be eligible to be in the free giveaway. So thank you again. So if you're new to the show, hit that follow button. We would really appreciate that. And also, if you haven't already, check out our Patreon account. I really do appreciate you guys just checking it out. You don't have to donate if you can't or if you don't want to. Just check it out, see why we have a Patreon, what it's for, and that's it. So we do appreciate everybody joining us, and do thank you guys very, very, very much. All right, so we have the triple threat tag team match between the Rusev Day, Sanity, and the Usos. Rusev Day ends up taking up the victory, and next week we'll go on to face the Bar to find out who goes on to face the New Day at Hell in a Cell. Your thoughts on the triple threat match, and your thoughts on Rusev Day picking up the victory?
I was shocked. I mean, the match was good, don't get me wrong, but I was shocked that they won. I thought it was going to be either Sanity or the Usos winning this week. I honestly thought we were going to see the Usos and New Day all over again. So, I mean, I was surprised that, to me, this almost basically guarantees that the Bar is going to be facing the New Day. But sorry, Rusev Day, I wish you'd win, but I just don't think it's going to happen. But yeah, it was a good match. I was surprised. I wouldn't have been mad if it would have been the main event like they did last week, but hey.
Oh, Budweiser says next week English turns on him, I bet. Okay, that's an interesting prediction there. I like it. I like that. That's a very interesting prediction there. So yeah, they go on. Next week they'll face the Bar. Not sure where. I'm actually shocked they did too. Wayne, what did you think of Sanity? How did you think they did out there?
I think they did good, but I just don't. I wish they would have stayed in NXT because they are shit. They're not doing nothing with these guys at all, and it's just terrible.
Yeah, it's pretty sad what they've done with Sanity. They haven't really taken them as a legit group or threat since they moved up to the main roster. I think we all thought Sanity was going to be booked totally differently. What's up, man?
Look how OVE is being booked in Impact. That's how Sanity should be being booked in WWE right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So let's move on to the main event because we have gone over the hour-and-a-half mark on our show. Yeah, what a waste of Killian Dane. JT nailed it on the head right there. Such unbelievable talent that is just getting wasted away in a group of Sanity who should be absolutely grouped better and booked better, but they're treated like jokes. It's absolute trash. We had Miz take on R-Truth in the main event. Yes, Daniel Bryan ends up coming back and getting involved, helping R-Truth to pick up the win, everybody. R-Truth, everybody. He said in 2018. What are your thoughts on the main event of SmackDown Live, Dave?
I mean, I thought it was a pretty good match, and how they did the whole, him and Carmella, like I said, I thought they fit kind of pretty good together. I mean, she was out there singing along to his song and everything. I mean, like I said, I think this team could be a dark horse in the Mixed Match Challenge. And I mean, they're kind of showing Carmella kind of in a face role now, like she was with New Day last year, or a few months ago. You know, it's kind of, it's different because they're kind of showing her as like a face, and it's really odd when you're so used to her being the annoying Carmella, when tonight she wasn't really annoying.
Yeah, she was actually pleasant on television. I didn't have no complaints with Carmelo. And I love how y'all had to throw in a cheap shot with the Street Profits. You guys don't know, WWE 2K, they opened their eyes on how great the Street Profits are, and they put the Street Profits in the game. You guys realize that the Street Profits are in the WWE 2K game. So you can all have pleasure of playing as the Street Profits, you can have them go after all the gold, have them win all the titles. I mean, come on now. Your Street Profits at rating 76. Yeah. Obviously, they don't know how to rate their characters because that is just a disrespectful rating right now. Disrespectful.
Hey, if people aren't sick of wrestling yet, I mean, we just went through, if you count 205 Live, 6 hours of wrestling. Well, tomorrow night, 2 more hours of wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mae Young Classic tomorrow.
You have the Mae Young Classic tomorrow. On top of that, we got NXT. So, Thursday night's lineup is going to look like this, everybody. I got a question about the Mae Young Classic. Yes, we're going to be touching on the Mae Young Classic. We'll be touching it on Thursday night. So this is how it's going to go. So from now on, until the Mae Young Classic is over, we'll touch on the Mae Young Classic. We'll touch on NXT, and we'll touch on Impact on Pop. So Thursday night is going to be a little bit more of a full show, everybody. So all you Impact on Pop heads, you know how we usually talk about that show last, because usually that's the main event on Thursday night. So I hope you guys can join us on Thursday when we touch on Impact on Pop. I know that this is late. I wasn't on when y'all were live for All In. That it was what wrestling should be. Yeah, I agree. And to me, I don't really want to touch on All In too much, because to me, it seems like All In is become like a bash party towards WWE. And I don't think All In was supposed to be that way. I don't think they made All In with the intentions of it to be like a fuck you to WWE. In a way, sort of it is, because after the show, Cody did say that All In wrestling is not just for one. It's not just one company. It's everyone, and it's true. It's absolutely true. There's more companies out there than just WWE. You know?
Yeah, and I don't think that was a straight shot at WWE. It was just saying, maybe in a way it was, but in a way it wasn't. It was just saying that wrestling isn't only in WWE. There's other wrestling out. Other companies can go out there and put on great shows.
The one thing, you know what I did not like, and it's a double-edged sword, and it could have been different because it was an All-In. But here's my thing. When we have these big shows like a WrestleMania and a SummerSlam or a Rumble or whatever have you, you get those fans that hijack the show. Not necessarily because we don't like a match, because they've done it before during a match that we all liked, right? Rollins, remember that, etc. They hijacked the match where they absolutely shitted on during a match. Why didn't we get that for All In? Why didn't we get the silly chants or the dumbass chants or just
because
that's what it seemed like.
I'll tell you.
This you want to hear this? Let me finish. It feels like, to me, fans go to WWE shows to hijack them, to make the shows worse than already they could be. You know what I mean? Like, to me, when you hijack a show, when you have those silly ass chants, when you have beach balls in the arena, to me, that ruins a show. That ruins my time. Because it takes away from what's going on in the ring. Because what do you get on Twitter? What's happening in the crowd? What's going on in the crowd? Oh, they got beach balls in the crowd. And what happens when they confiscate the beach balls? They pop them and they boo. For what? You know, the most ridiculous chant we got at All In was the rest in penis chant. That's it. It feels like, to me, groups of people go to these WrestleMania shows, go to these Brooklyn shows, wherever you have it, on these main big shows, and they hijack them on purpose. That's what it feels like to me. Because we would have gotten that last Saturday night at All In. But all the fans were respectful. All the fans were respectful. Do you kind of see my point?
Yeah, but I would say the reason it's different is because a lot of those people who go to these just WE shows aren't strictly hardcore wrestling fans. You know, NXT you do get that, but a lot of these fans there are more so, you know, just there to basically steal the show. Last night, And mostly WWE, what they put out a bunch of stuff. I hate to say it, I don't want to sound like a WWE hater, but a bunch of stuff none of us care about seeing. Like Roman Reigns as champion again. No one wants to see that. All In gave fans what they wanted to see. Some good wrestling and some clean finishes. On these WWE shows, you don't get that.
Yeah, but see, WWE is a mixture to me sometimes. I get it. A lot of people aren't going to feel certain storylines. I understand that. Not a lot of people are going to enjoy Reigns and Strowman or Daniel Bryan and The Miz or etc. Some people are going to be tired of certain storylines, but doesn't mean that you go to the show and you shit on it. If you're going to All In as a fan, say I'm a group of 12, and all 12 of us are not excited for Hangman Page and Joey Janela, we're not going to go there and chant, negative shit towards the match because we don't want to see it. That's what fans do when they go to the WWE shows. If they don't want to see, I'm just throwing this out as an example, R-Truth and The Miz in the main event, they'll shit on it. They'll boo. They'll do the wave. They'll try to throw beach balls. They'll do everything they can to sabotage the show. But at All In, that didn't happen. Even if you weren't feeling a match or you thought a match was boring, they don't do that. They showed respect. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of like a double-edged sword. You get those fans because WWE is also, it's so global and there's so many shows they put on each year. And like with the Raw and SmackDowns and then the big pay-per-views and the regular pay-per-views, you're almost oversaturated with so much content from WWE. With a show like All In, they're just a bunch of dream matches that everyone wanted to see. Pentagon and Kenny Omega, everyone wanted to see that. That's all everyone talked about, that they wanted to see that match. And I mean,
exactly,
the whole show.
Exactly. Like if to me, if you're a fan, right, and it said, Hell in a Cell is coming to my show. I'm a big WWE guy. We do this podcast on a weekly basis. So I felt like it was not an obligation for me to go, but I felt like, I should go. And I think you guys enjoy when I go to these live shows and you get the experience and get my feedback of how it was. That's what, at least I feel that way. If Hell in a Cell and it ended up being matches that I didn't care for, it's my fault for buying that ticket months ahead in advance before they made the card. You know what I mean? If I didn't want to see Strowman and Reigns, but fuck, they made that right now, I shouldn't be all pissed off where I'm going to go to that show and purposely try to hijack. That's what fans do. That's what they do.
Yeah, but they also what Vince does is he loves doing this. Oh, we're going to give you Samoa Joe and AJ Styles. But if you want to see that, you also got to pay to see Brock and Roman Reigns, because that's the match everyone wants to see. No, everyone wants to see Miz and Daniel Bryan, and they want to see Joe and AJ. Those are the matches they really want to see.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, you got to understand is WWE, and you're right. I think who was that said that? Yeah, you're absolutely right. We probably should have said this, and we'll touch more of this on the weekend. WWE is a year-long show. They can't give you what you want right a fucking way, because what are they going to do 3, 4, 5 months from now? What if they gave us Daniel Bryan and Samoa Joe for the title tomorrow? What are they going to do when we want to see that? They gotta be patient. You gotta wait for the ride. WWE is a long, patient roller coaster ride.
Yeah, but
you're gonna have your ups, and you're gonna have your exciting parts. Then you're gonna fucking have your low parts where it's boring and a lot of shit doesn't make sense. And then you're gonna have your high parts. You know what I mean? That's what All In. Of course, All In was gonna be great. It was hard for it not to be when you have fantasy matches put together. If WWE did a one-night show called The Fans Pick Who, whatever fucking, Cyber Sunday like they did in the past, and they made you book the show, you had the fans book who they faced, of course they're going to love it because it's going to be matches that the fans want to see. And a 4-hour pay-per-view, you're going to see matches that you don't want to see because they have to fill up a 4-hour pay-per-view. So, exactly. Bob Ruski says, guys like Pritchard have said, whatever Vince books now, he has a payoff in the future.
Yeah, but I think a lot of us fans say we see what wrestling's happening, And we're like, it's not that we want every dream match right now. It's the fact that we want better better storylines and better
See,
shows. I mean,
you're
look at
different. A lot of people want things right now. They want Samoa Joe as the champ. They want this. They want that. There's no waiting in between. They want it now. They don't want Roman Reigns as champ. They want someone else. And if Roman Reigns is the champ, I'm gonna go to every fucking WWE live event and I'm gonna hijack every Roman Reigns show. What does that do? What does that do? If you don't like Roman Reigns as your champ, you're not liking the WWE product, there is dozens, and I mean dozens of other wrestling products to watch where you're not miserable for 3 hours. You got Impact, you got Lucha, you got ROH, you got MLW, you got, just to name a few, that are on TV. Some of them you got to go a little bit harder and look for, but to me that makes you look like a goddamn troll. You just go to the shows, spend your hard-working money to shit on a show, to shit on a match.
Now, wouldn't you say the whole shitting on the? Now, wouldn't you say hijacking the shows? A lot of it starts from just a few people, then everyone else just goes for it because everyone else.
What's the point of doing a wave during a match? What's the point of it?
You know what's funny? This all started with Fandango. Or even Daniel Bryan, you could say, in a way, too. Because the Yes chant started going crazy during that WrestleMania when he lost in 15 seconds or whatever it was. And they started going crazy like that. And that really started kind of the hijacking. And then the whole Fandango thing, which people thought was cool. But now it's kind of went crazy ever since then.
I'm not saying that. And listen, I get it. If you spent your hard-working money and you want to go to a show and you want to boo, yell, I don't mind that. I understand that. I don't. Yeah, we did Babaruski. We went on a whole different tangent. We haven't even made a SmackDown Live yet. I'm just saying, like, I don't mind you going in there and doing what you want to do. If you want to boo Roman Reigns and you spend your money for it, more power to you. But if you're going to WWE shows and you're a WWE hater, as for example, you don't like the show or product at all, what's the point of going there to try to hijack the show? To me, that just shows disrespect. When I was at WrestleMania, the Raw after WrestleMania, and they did the wave during a Rollins match, I was so fucking pissed. That to me shows the most disrespect to a wrestler. That they're going out there and they're busting their ass, risking their life, risking their life in that ring for you, and you're doing a fucking wave. Shows me that you'd rather do a fucking wave than watch a match. And just try to get yourself over.
And I think a lot of that is to be to blame to the whole Fandango thing, because people are trying to be like, oh, when everyone was buzzing about the fans doing the Fandango dance in the subway and all that, and people are trying to get that they want to hijack what they did, kind of hijack the show, and kind of take it over and make it their own, and like, oh, we're this and that. And those fans who do that, hey, you want to do all this stuff, you want to chant, you hate Roman, fuck you, Roman sucks, I don't care. Say it, do whatever you want. Just don't say the one wrestler that he doesn't give a shit about you and he doesn't give a shit about the WWE. Don't chant CM Punk.
Right. Well, yeah, the CM Punk chants are the most dumbest chants in the world. For one, he quit on you. And I'm a CM Punk mark. He quit on the fans. He doesn't care about the wrestling fans anymore. He doesn't care about wrestling, period. Shows you that if he cared at all, he would have been at backstage at All In. He would have been at backstage at All In. Even if he wasn't going to be at the show, he would have showed some sort of support other than being at a 9-hour signing that he's getting paid for. FYI. I'm just saying.
Yep, but he was offered a contract, like you said. If he wanted to appear, he could have.
Yeah, Barbarossa, he had plenty of fun with the fans. Oh, I'm sure he had plenty of fun. How many in his mind was he making fun of all the fans that were coming up to him and giving him WWE belts and doing all this stuff? CM Punk may be one of the best wrestlers ever to step his foot in a ring, but he's also one of the biggest assholes as well. That's just plain and simple. And second off, just don't be a hypocrite when it comes to wrestling. That's all. That's all. Because I know 95% of you probably went into All In on Saturday night, and probably maybe one match you're probably weren't looking forward to, and you cannot deny that. All right.
Yeah, there wasn't.
And a lot of people didn't come to that show to shit on it.
No, yeah, that's the big. I understand your gripe about this whole thing. You're sitting here watching, like, man, it was a good show, and the crowd didn't do nothing. I mean, when you go to a WrestleMania or even Brooklyn shows, I mean, you get the crowd always trying to do something
It's not
to take over.
They come with that motive to take over the show. WrestleMania came to a chant show. When I went to WrestleMania, the people behind me, all they did was chant. That's all they did. They tried to chant, get the crowd, their group of going to get themselves over. That's all they did. That's what people go for shows now. It's absolutely pathetic. It's pathetic.
People want to start chants and be cool and all that. Hey, I've been to those live events where they do the same thing there.
Yeah, I'm not trying to shit on All In because it was an absolute great show, and they put on a great product, and I'm super jealous of as a person who does show on a weekly basis, and people that were invited as podcasters to join Podcast Row and do all that. I mean, that's a great accomplishment. And if you were invited to go to All In and be on that part of the Podcast Row, you should feel honored and privileged to be a part of that, because I know I would have been, to be a part of that first ever show that's going to go down in history. Yeah, Kelsey, I would, I can understand her. I would be ecstatic right now as a podcaster if I was invited to Podcast Row. Unfortunately, we're not big enough yet. Maybe never will hit that mark. It'd be nice too to be able to go there. But I'm just saying, in general, All In was a very successful show, and I would not be shocked if there's an All In 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. So props to them. I just wish the fans weren't so fucking hypocritical. Because go ahead.
I was saying, you weren't shitting on the All In show. You were just like saying, like, wow, this crowd was so respectful and so cool. Why can't they be like this during these big shows that we see every year from the WWE, instead of becoming, like you said, just a big chant fest where people just go there to get themselves over and try to start chants like crazy just for the hell of it?
Yeah, that's my thing. You had All In, which was a different show. You didn't have the disrespect. You didn't have the stupid chants. There was chants, but they weren't like unneeded chants, or beach balls weren't involved in the show. That's what I don't really care for. But anyways, let's move on. Sorry we went on that rant and tangent. We've already went over the mark. I know a lot of people were staying up late for the show, and I do appreciate that. So Dave, go ahead, give us your rating for SmackDown Live tonight.
I'll give it a 3.5. I thought it was a really good show.
I'm going to give SmackDown Live as well a 3. I thought it was more very entertaining show. Nothing too bad, nothing too great. But other than that, it wasn't that bad. Yeah, exactly, Bob Ruskin. Vince Russo, a guy that I don't really care for Vince Russo either. He's another guy that watches WWE just to basically bash it. But he made a good point. If Vince Russo had a show and he had inflatable penises come out there, imagine the amount of backlash Vince Russo would have gotten. But it's Joey Ryan and it's All In. It's perfectly okay.
I thought it was funny. I mean,
I didn't have a problem with it, but it makes sense. Like, I can understand what he's saying. I didn't have a problem with it. I didn't necessarily have an issue with it, but I can understand his point of view. Jim Cornette probably had a fucking heart attack, like Bob Ruski mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, what would he rather them done? Dewey Bagwell on a pole?
Adam Bomb, if we had a ranch show, I think we would piss a lot of fans off. A lot of people off, and I don't want that. I don't want people to think that we're attacking them or calling them out, because certain fans may go to shows that like to do that stuff. It pisses me off to see how hypocritical fans are at certain things. Just because they like a product more than they like WWE, they're going to treat it better. Imagine if people did that at Impact shows. It doesn't happen at Impact shows. And when it did, remember when who was talking and all you heard was that fan in the crowd saying, what?
Yeah.
That annoyed the shit out of you. Imagine fucking 50,000 people doing that all the time. And not just doing what chants. I just had to get that off my shoulder, because I saw a lot of people talking about All In and how it was a protest to WWE. Like, really? You're gonna go that far to protest? Like, come on now. Just don't watch the goddamn product. That's how you protest. You don't watch it.
Well, a lot of it to do is like WWE fans, like those hardcore WWE fans, aren't sitting there watching ROH and Impact and all these. And I seen something where they posted about All In, and someone said, yeah, well they can't, every Monday night, WWE sells out 18,000 people, and really they don't, but still, it was just it's just crazy because they released the audience was like over 11,000 people were there and all that.
Yeah, props to them. Congratulations to Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks. They worked their fucking tails off, and props to them. DX will be live on Saturday, not Sunday. We're not going to go up against NFL. I'm not going to try to compete with them. So Saturday night we'll be going live with our shoot the shit. Wow, show on Saturday. But then after that we will start going live on Sundays. If the viewage decreases, because last Sunday we didn't do that great. If it doesn't do that great, I'm gonna probably move it back to Saturday night, especially with football around. A lot of people would probably watch football than our show. Yeah, shit the show. yeah. Hello. So I think that's gonna pretty much wrap it up. We went a little bit too long tonight. Usually we're supposed to end the show about 30 minutes ago, but of course we went on a little tangent. We ranted a little bit. We talked a little bit about stuff that weren't involved in SmackDown Live and Raw. So we do appreciate you guys coming on here and listening to me rant. Hope it didn't offend anybody or anything like that, dude. But we do appreciate you guys letting us just talk and do what we do here on this show. So don't forget, if you haven't already, appreciate that, Cena Nation. Thanks for the kind words. If you haven't already, please hit that follow button here on Periscope. We're over 1,000 followers currently, but I want to make sure to get there by the weekend because it could be troll counts or porn accounts. So right now we're over 1,000. So it's an amazing feeling right now. It's a big accomplishment for us to hit over 1,000 followers, especially when we started from 0. So we do appreciate everybody who has told your friends about us, who has shared the product, because we want to get bigger. We want to become, we want to do this for a living. This is our passion. Wrestling is our passion. There's nothing else we would want to talk about with you guys. Yeah, sure, there's sports, but when it comes to wrestling, we can talk hours upon hours with you guys. So we do appreciate you guys coming in here. And if you can, support us. We have a Patreon. We're not asking for a lot. There's a $1 donation. There's a $5 donation. And like I said, if you donate to our Patreon, at the end of the month, you'll be in the Young Buck Pop giveaway. All you got to do is a Patreon, $1, $5. That's all. I'm not trying to force you guys to support us in any type of way. If you can, we appreciate it. If you can't, you guys come in here every night, dropping those hearts and sharing us on Periscope and Twitter. It means a lot to us. And we do appreciate you guys taking your time out of your night to come on here, because I know on the East Coast it's already past midnight. A lot of you guys wake up very early for work. So I do appreciate you guys supporting us so very much. I mean, I can't understand. I can't come to words about how much you guys mean to us as a show. So, Dave, anything else before Thursday night? Well, don't forget, everybody, Thursday night we'll be live after Impact. Mae Young Classic, Impact, and NXT will be covered on Thursday night show.
Yeah, I don't know any matches that have been announced. I think I heard that there's going to be a rematch with Su Yung and Tessa. I believe it's this week. I'm not sure, though. Maybe Adam Bomb knows about that for sure, but I believe that's the match. But other than that, yeah, Mae Young Classic, I look forward to see what the first round is. I don't even know what the matches that are going to be on tomorrow.
I have no idea. Mae Young Classic is, I believe, right after NXT tomorrow.
Yeah, it is, 9 o'clock, yeah.
Yeah, so everybody enjoy it. Tomorrow night, y'all, you will not be hearing from me from Twitter. Tomorrow I'm taking a break. I will not be on Twitter because I don't want to see any spoilers for NXT, and I don't want to see any spoilers for the Mae Young Classic. So, of course, you'll probably get my good old tweet maybe during the day, but once 7 o'clock hits my time, I'm going off Twitter. I don't want to be spoiled by anything. So I usually watch my NXT and Mae Young on Thursdays. So I do appreciate everybody for joining us tonight. It was a great show. I mean, look how many. I mean, over 3,000 viewers tonight. Unfucking believable. You guys are OV versus Ace Austin, Zachary Wentz, and Trey Miguel plus Swan versus Williams again. All right, awesome. Tony going off the grid. Yeah, I went off the grid tonight. I just had to. I just had that on my mind, and I want to talk more of it with Alex on here because he's more of the he watches more companies other than WWE. I want to see his mindset on it as well. Go ahead, Dave.
I think you meant you're going off the grid like you're going to go off social media.
Oh, yeah. I'm an idiot. I'm a fucking idiot. Also, Brandon After was supposed to be on tonight, but he had some stuff come up last minute. So Brandon After will probably either be on the weekend show or next week. He's going to give us his thoughts on being there live at All In, what he took of it, what was his favorite matches, stuff like that. So Brandon After will be on our show. So give him a follow on Twitter at BAfter23. Another good guy to the show. He does a lot for us as well. So go give him a follow. And if not, give us a follow on Twitter as well at Get the Tables. Yeah, Alex was live tweeting, but he said he was probably going to go to bed after SmackDown Live. So I just told him, hey, man, if you can, join us on Saturday. So Alex will hopefully be joining us on Saturday. And then Justin might be joining us on Thursday as well. So thank you very, very, so very much for everybody coming in here. Let's do a quick little shout out to Truth and Loyalty, Kevin, Blitzside, Jeffrey Cross, Adam Downs, Alex, Bob Maruski, who is our recent winner. And everybody congratulate Bob Maruski because I went to Bob Maruski and I went up to him and I said, hey, would you rather win this Loot Crate or would you like to win something else? A Roman Reigns t-shirt from the WWE fan shop. So Bob Maruski will be getting a WWE Roman Reigns t-shirt in the mail in the next couple of weeks. So congratulations to Bob Maruski. We got Budweiser, Jose Rodriguez, Bryson M, Dylan, Sean Taylor, Shemaya Mills, Ned, and Peck and Rod. And there's a couple of more that I cannot see. Jody Mania. Oh, Dave messing up. Okay, better. Oh my God. Who else was in here? Lit Manthus, thank you for the super hard speeds as well. Thank you guys so very much for the support you guys give us on a weekly basis. Yeah, that hurt my ears as well. Thank you guys for the support. Thank you for the hearts tonight. I believe we're almost at 6 million hearts. Thank you for the super hearts. Check us out on Twitter. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube, everybody. And have a great hump day. Enjoy Mae Young Classic. Enjoy NXT. Because we want to see you Thursday night. Thank you, everybody.